who do you think you are? Now, I'm excited to come back to this kind of series, this theme of like, you know, even when we was working through it, God gave me identity crisis. How many people in this world are struggling with an identity crisis? Now, what I mean by that, I'm not talking about like a, you know, you lost your ID or anything like that, but like people are going through this life performing. And here's the sucky part about that. Some people are very good performers, meaning they can make it look good. But just because something looked good, that don't mean that it didn't cost you. Ooh. Just because the performance looked good, it does not mean that it didn't cost you. And my fear for this generation is we are in an environment where it's so easy for us to maintain in an identity crisis, right? Yeah, it's a problem, but because everybody's performing, it's easy for us to maintain in an identity crisis, right? And here's what we're going to talk about today. Your assumed identity is not your assigned identity. Let me bring that back. Your assumed identity, who people want you to be, who your mom wanted you to be, who you putting pressure on to become, when it's not even in alignment with where God is taking you, right? We start producing efforts towards a path that God has never planned for us. Oh, hold on. We start producing efforts on a path that God has never planned for us, right? And we start, because I have given out so much in this thing, God, I deserve some type of return from it. I'm telling you right now, because I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I am not perfect. I am just a messenger. I'm telling you right now, that is the fastest way to no peace. That is the fastest way to extremely no peace. Because I have created this path in my life, I have invested all of this time and all of this energy, and all of these people think that these things should be true for me, that God, because I have done all of this, I should get something back from it. And God is saying, I never called you to that. I never told you to do that. I never told you to build that. We've never talked about this, right? That made me think of like when my wife be like, yeah, babe, we're going to do this and do that. I'm like, yo, we didn't talk about this. Like, when was this plan put in place? But we have to understand our assumed identity, what we thought could be the thing, what we wanted the outcome to be. It's not our assigned identity. And I think one of the things that we can do to immediately step and live and operate on a path of peace is to line our life up with Scripture. The script of life is buried in Scripture. Do not miss that. The script, the everyday operation, the understanding, the wisdom, the script of life is buried in Scripture. So if you confuse and you operating and your whole life is consumed by this assumed identity, which the enemy loves you there, right? Because if he feel like as if he can take something from who you think you are, he got you in the perfect position to be defeated. But that's a side note. Anyways, we spend a whole life in this assumed identity, and we never ever once line our life up or attempt to line our life up with Scripture, right? And then we go back to the assigned identity. The price of the assumed identity is this: there's no freedom. You're always on. And when I say always on, I don't mean always growing. I don't mean always being fruitful. I don't mean always serving. You're always performing. You're always performing. And the problem with the performance is this: there's typically no room left for praise for God. The problem with performing all of the time is typically there's no room left for praise for God. Because you just spent all of your time performing and you're always on. This is the price of an assumed identity. Now, the assigned identity. There's freedom in who God says you are. There's freedom in your natural birthrights. You don't have to fight for peace. It's yours. You don't have to fight to be loved. God, you're already loved. You don't have to fight to be valuable. You know the breath of God The tenacity of God flows through you. These are birthrights. But this is your assigned identity. This was given to us from the love of God. Just when you hit the world, the earth, here, these are, I am your God, you are my son, you are my daughter, you are loved, you're a royal priesthood, you're a chosen generation. These are things that were automatically given to us. If you don't know these things, if you don't know what's available to you, you're going to live your entire life going out into the world, taking and trying to get everything that you can get your hands on because you do not realize you already have an advantage. When you live the life of an assumed identity, it's so hard to be generous because you're performing, you're only focused on receiving. Because you're not operating out of who you really are. But when you get in alignment with your assigned identity, you understand, I already have everything that matters. I didn't say everything I need. I already have everything that matters. So it's not hard for me to be generous because I'm connected directly to, It's not hard for me to be generous because I'm connected directly to God. So it's easy for me to just let it flow. It's easy for me to forgive. It's easy for me to love. It's easy for me to create capacity in my life to serve other people because I'm directly connected. When you are in alignment with your assigned identity, what does God say about me? Who does God say I am? When you are in alignment with your assigned identity, you don't live life trying to get. It is not hard to be generous because you realize I was born with an advantage. Friends, send this video to somebody who needs it. I'm praying for your new normal. I'm praying for clarity. And as always, until next time, peace.